Tamara Wolfe, who's a certified life mastery coach, a mindset coach, speaker, author, and owner of Full Spectrum Living. Tamara comes to her life coaching with a background as a movement psychotherapist, a business leader, and a mentor in sales. For over 30 years, she has been studying and teaching personal development and success principles to entrepreneurs and business leaders. Tamara's passion to help clients reach their highest level of potential in their personal and business life by first aligning with their passion and purpose. She offers transformational, in-depth coaching programs that help clients repattern limiting beliefs to create the results that they desire to live richer, more fulfilling lives. Tamara also offers inspirational webinars, workshops, and keynote speeches. And with that, I'm looking forward to hearing more about your work, Tamara.
Thank you so much, Erin. It is an honor and a privilege to be with all of you here this morning. And I'm here to open your mindset and open you up to the whole idea of the fact that you can really design your vibrant life as you move through the aging process. And we're going to unlock some tools for you to support that whole process and know that you have more power than you realize in creating that vibrant life that you would love. And so I'm coming from the concept of putting the oxygen mask on you first, and then how you can take that oxygen mask, put it into your business, and then serving your clients at the highest level. And what I mean by that is that you be open and kind of try on where we're going with our topic today and the tips that I'm going to share with you, and then be curious about how this can play into your services that you provide, and then really how you bring that to your clients. So with that, I want to take a moment to do what I call priming your brain. I want you to get the most out of our time together. And this is something that you can use at any other workshop that you go to, so you're ready and able to take things in at a higher level. So this came from my mentor, and I call it the 3 T's. So the first T is that you tune in. You consciously decide, in this moment, I have an intention that I'm going to glean, for instance, at least one golden nugget. I'm hoping you get more, but at least one golden nugget, so your brain is tuned in. The second T is to turn up the volume. The tendency is, if we hear something that we've heard before, the brain wants you to kind of sit back and go, oh, I've heard this before. And I'm going to encourage you to actually counteract that brain and lean in, because every time you come to a topic, you come to it as a different person. Every day you're a different person, and you're ready to receive things in a different way. So you might even change your posture to be ready for bringing in what's coming in, clearing your mindset to allow what's going to come in. The last T is transformational willingness. And what I mean by that is there may be an aha moment. Be open to that, something that, one nugget that might really pivot personally, or something you can bring into your business. So with that, I want to really help you I'm going to give you everything I can in the next hour. And with that, I'm going to have you just take a good deep breath in. So this helps to clear the mind as well. So breathing in through the nose on 4, and hold for 2, and then slowly exhale and blow out on the count of 4. And I'm going to have you do that again as I pull up my PowerPoint here. So just breathing in, so you're priming and you're being open to what you're going to receive right now. Awesome. So with that, we're taking a look at mindset tools for living a vibrant life as you age. And as I was getting ready for this, I think about seniors, and we're talking about, the aging process. Well, all of us are aging each day. So we want to apply these tools right now as in the process of moving forward. So my intentions today is that you're going to gain greater clarity on your vibrant aging mindset. We're going to unlock a results formula that helps you really lead into creating that and having the results that you want, so you're living it each day. I'm going to provide some mindset tools for a vibrant aging mindset. We're going to talk about tools that help you when conditions and life happens How do you get back on target to continue streamlining towards where you would love to go? And then I'm going to give you a daily routine that's going to help you on a daily basis stay in that higher mindset as you move through. So I want to talk about, what is mindset, right? Your mindset is a set of beliefs and attitudes and perceptions you've held about yourself and your life. And many of us aren't even aware that we have all these beliefs and attitudes that are actually have created at a subconscious level, kind of how we navigate through our lives. And when we can be more proactive and actually realize that I have a choice in maybe designing that mindset that can be better in serving me and moving forward, it's really powerful. So I'm going to help you step into that piece of being open, because it is the power, it has the power to impact your success, and it plays a critical role in how to cope with and overcome challenges. We talk about 90% of what we do is our attitude, and 10% is actually what we do. So and when I was a mentor in sales, I used to say, you can learn all the business pieces, but if you don't have the mindset to keep going and to move through challenges, you're not going to be able to apply those mindsets. So with that, one of the terms that I call what we're talking about is we're going through the aging process. It's really kind of a transition mindset. So I want to open you to the whole idea that we're going to shift from, I love this word, from being mindset, that we're on a set path and we can't change it. I've heard people say, well, that's just the way it is. It's I can't change. And they settle in for their mind being set. And I'm here to open it up for you to take a look at. We can design. We want to look at a mindset by design. And to get to that mindset of design, we want to step into higher levels of attitudes and beliefs and perceptions by redesigning and repatterning them. And as we do that, we actually see how more powerful we are than just being pushed around by circumstances. So many people aren't aware that they have power to navigate circumstances at a higher level. And that's where we're going to go today, because as we age, life is happening. So I love Andrew Carnegie in engaging Napoleon Hill and writing a book about successful people and how they move forward and how they bring out success. And when he did the research, he found that the number one attribute that successful people talked about was peace of mind. Peace of mind. And the second one was physical vitality, mind, body. It doesn't matter how much material wealth you have. If you don't have peace of mind and a body temple for which to experience opportunities, your life is muted. And I dare say, who wants a muted life, right? The title of our thing today is A Vibrant Life. So we want to take a look at how do we do that? Where do we work with that? And so I love this term. This comes from one of my mentors. We know how the benefit of exercising is for all parts of our health, but there's the innercising that we want to do as well. We want to, on a daily basis, be working with our mindset. And they go together. So mind body is an important piece as we look at aging with in a vibrant way. So I want to help you understand how we work with mindset and how this all to get to where we want to go, how our whole process starts. So I call it the results formula. And most of us know this. Most of us know that everything starts with our thinking. So if you look at the design of your clothes, you look at what's happening, all the design of furniture around you, it all started in your thoughts, and then it came into physical form. So we also know that our thoughts have a vibration to them. It's been proven in science that it has a vibration, and that vibration is picked up on the body level through the nervous system. So what we then identify the vibration as is feelings. And so if you really ask someone if they're having a not so great day, if you ask them how they're feeling, if they were really speaking from that perspective, they say, I'm vibrating at a very low level. Or if they're having a great day, I'm vibrating at a high level. So this is information that it's an indication. If you're feeling a certain way, we're going to talk about reverse engineering. What was I just thinking? So those feelings then impact the actions we take, and then it impacts the results of where we are. Now, most people are thinking that their results that they're having in their lives are a result of causes, of circumstances. I couldn't do that because I don't have the education. So we kind of talk about the causes, but we get into the becauses. I can't do that because I don't have the skill, or I'm too old. So we get into this because kind of thing. And what that kind of sounds like is a victim mentality. So what we want to take a look at is truly, if we're looking at our results, if we look at the results in our lives, I talk about 4 areas of our lives: in our relationships, in our health, in our vocation, in our time and money freedom. If you look at them just right now, kind of just do a quick glance, the results never lie. If there are areas that you're not so happy with in terms of results, the good news is, as I step in and kind of help you be more aware, the good news is we can actually shift that by understanding that it all starts with our thinking. And that's where we're going today. I'll just share on a quick example that I use, having been in sales for many years. When we've had a bad month, say for instance, October wasn't, the optimal month that you wanted. If you don't, and then you might decide, in November, I have a different goal here. But if you haven't completely set aside saying, October's in the past, I'm focusing here and directing your thinking to November, if you still have some of that, stuff going on, like, oh, I hope it doesn't happen again this month. If you bring that in, what's going to happen is you're going to start the whole cycle again. You're going to still have those same thoughts, create those feelings, actions, and the results. And that's how so many people can get stuck on the spiral of, I don't know why I'm not moving forward. And it's all about retraining the brain and starting with our thinking. So that's where we're going to take a look at. And it starts with our attention. What are we putting our attention on? So I want to share a quick example, a quick video that kind of brings this out, because as we're thinking about directing our thoughts, we want to start with our awareness. So just going to share this quick video here.
This is an awareness test. How many passes does the team in white make? Go! The answer is 13. But did you see the moonwalking bear? Go!
I love that. It's just like the picture you've seen with the picture where you see the older woman, if you look in one way, and then you see the younger woman over there. It's where we're putting our attention. And so we have this is a big word for this part of the brain. We have an amazing part of our brain that I call it the GPS. And so it has this amazing ability. It's in the subconscious. It doesn't know the difference between what's real and what's not real, but it listens to what you're directing it to look for. So we can either use it in the service of us, in where we're going with developing that mindset of a vibrant life, or we can actually kind of terrorize ourselves. We want to be really clear on what we want to be directing our attention to, because the brain is going to work for you. It's extremely powerful in personal and business life and any of that, to help you direct your energy and your focus to where you want to go. If you've ever been looking for a new car, you're geared up and you know the model and you know the color that you're looking for, how amazing is that? We see so many of them on the road, and wow, and they're pulling up next to me. That's because you've directed your thoughts towards where you want to go or what you're looking for. So if we really take a look at this, the quality of your life is really determined by the quality of your thinking. really powerful to take a look at that. And if we want to have different results, if you really want to make a change and direct to where you're going, it starts with your thinking. So the exciting news is now is that our brains are plastic, are malleable, and that we are not set in stone in terms of, you know, our beliefs and everything. I'll say that our brains try and conserve energy, so they take certain things and they create habits and they groove habits. So we now know if you haven't been directing your mindset into habits that are really serving you, we have the ability to rewire them and be able to create, as we're going to be talking about more, what we really would love. And this great discovery happened in 1949. So it talks about neurons that fire together, wire together. So how does this, you know, kind of whittle down to where we are? This last sentence at the bottom, you might want to kind of anchor that. Where we put our attention, energy flows, just like I was talking about with the GPS. So we want to be clear on where do we want to put our attention as we're navigating our days and living our best day every day. Where do I want to put my attention? We actually have control with that. So as we step into kind of looking about the aging process and living our best life, one of the things that we'll start tuning into, and I'll just ask you right now, again, you know, thinking for yourself, what is your attitude about the aging process? Have you really ever thought about that? And it matters not what age you are now. We're all aging every day. So what is your attitude about that? Do you view it as a positive rite of passage, or is it a negative phenomenon that you're simply enduring? I'm opening, you know, your mindset to kind of begin thinking about this. And I found this great article, and there's 3 different aging rooms that people can be in. The practice aging room, that's the room where you have a semblance. I have a bucket list. There's certain things that I'm looking for, and I'll kind of spend time, you know, in that arena to move myself forward. There's the positive aging room that is proactive every day, that I'm living every day. I'm directing my energy towards the things that I would love as I continue this process. It might be, you know, in hobbies that I love and more proactive. And then there's God's waiting room. People just kind of going through the motions. They've got the negative attitude. I'm just, you know, whenever the time comes, and they feel like they don't have any say in the matter. So I'm here to, I say that's not really where we want to be. We want to really be aware of having that higher level. So I want to introduce these phrases, and actually many of us have used those as just terms that we throw around, but they can be really powerful when you really live into them. Age is just a number. You know, that's a mindset. Age is just a number. You're as old as you feel. You're as old as you feel, really, you know, acknowledging that, you know, you don't have to kind of give into the stereotype of like, you know, certain age and how you're supposed to feel. Age is a state of mind. Absolutely. So this will come into play as we go further, but these can serve you in the process of leading and going through life at a higher level. So there was a study done, it's really interesting, by a social psychologist from Harvard. And it was done many years ago, and it was called the counterclockwise study, or a man-made time warp. I love this. So she created an environment up in New Hampshire, this retreat center where there were 70-year-old men, and she was creating the mindset or the environment where it was back 20 years for them. They had all the books and the TV shows, and everything there was reflected of that time period. And the study was, these men were asked to go there and live in the present tense as if they were back in that time. So this is a key thing, living as if they were back in that time frame and talking about the current issues during that time and all that was going on. And then there was another group that was in a similar environment, but they weren't told to really live into it. And what they found was, when after the week that they were in this setting, that when they did certain measurements in memory and dexterity and overall well-being, the difference was, poignant between the ones that were living as if it was back in the day when they were really enjoying 20 years before, and the ones that were just kind of in that environment. Truly powerful in terms of how the mindset and how they were stepping into kind of for real, like kind of rewiring their bodies to be in that vital place. So we understand now, and we're going to talk more about that mind-body connection, because those are so important in the aging process. Another study was done at Yale over a 20-year period where they interviewed people about their mindset about aging. And the ones that had the more positive view actually lived 7.5 years longer when they perceived aging as a positive. And this is a really important one at the end here as we take a look at what's happening in our world. Older people who perceive themselves as a burden to others view their lives as less valuable, increasing the risk of depression and social isolation, which are actually silent killers for seniors. People who are isolated, there was already an epidemic of isolation in our world before COVID. Now it's been even more. And brain research is taking a look at the fact that isolation is almost as if you've been smoking 2 packs of cigarettes a day. It impacts memory. And so when people are being evaluated, they sometimes look like they have dementia because their brains haven't been stimulated. So the brain's shrinking, their hippocampus, which is their memory center. And all of this leads to depression and all of that. And so we're here to take a look at how we can shift mindset and how being social, Joe was sharing earlier about creating the team spirit. This is what we're looking at too, as we're looking at aging. We want to be around others and be have that stimulation. So I wanted to break down as we lead into, and in a little bit, we're actually going to have you get real focused on for yourself, what are the ingredients that you want and how you design, that the vision for your vibrant life. And these are some of the perspectives as we, look forward and, in this whole process of being vibrant as we age. So we talked a little bit about, if we really look at it, we're consistently in a transition mindset. We're transitioning from one thing to another. So it's being aware of how do we do that? The growth mindset, I'm going to unlock that. Resilient mindset, having a purpose mindset, and a social mindset. So growth mindset, truly, if we really look at nature, and we're part of nature, if you really hone it down, we're either growing or we're dying. Has anyone ever felt, kind of noticed for yourself that if you're not moving forward in a certain area of your life, that you feel really stagnant, and it creates kind of a low level kind of feeling? And I actually remember saying that to one of my peers before I made a career shift, that I felt like I was dying inside because I wasn't living at my highest level. I knew I had more. So the growth mindset is such a important piece as we're thinking about the aging process, because we know that as we're learning new things, it's growing the brain. So, and we feel more vital. So we want to try things that are challenging. We want to learn from failure. We want to adjust strategies for accomplishing goals. And what we find is you're more likely to stick with things longer and perform better, enjoy what you're doing more than when you feel like you're fixed and you're in your skills are kind of at a fixed level. So we want to be open and be aware of what are some things that I would love to continue growing in. I know for me, being in something where I'm continually, upping my level of what I bring to my clients and what I bring to my speaking is an ongoing kind of process. It keeps me on the cutting edge. And we know that as we're doing that, it brings more joy. So growth mindset helps you focus on what's in your control and reduces that fear of being stuck. So I'm here to kind of talk about the fact that, it helps us be proactive instead of reactive. You want to keep growing. So that's one perspective as you're thinking about this, you're developing that mindset that you stay in that growth mode. And moving into the second piece, we have challenges. And we want to have a mindset of resilience and understand the power of that because life happens. Obviously, we've been in a challenge that none of us ever would have imagined would be happening. And to notice for yourself how you've been navigating that. Have you been growing through it? So we can either, as we're navigating through challenges, I want to talk about the resilient mindset, about the fact that when we have, I'm going to invite you to really look at circumstances when we have a challenge or a circumstance. It's if we can neutralize it, if we can take the energy off it, just it is what it is. This is what's happening. We're not denying the facts that it can create an emotional thing, but we have a choice of what we put on it. So for some, we've looked at, and maybe for yourself, for instance, with COVID, it could have been, oh my gosh, this is the worst thing, get into like the victim mode, get frozen and stuck in time. Or you can take that mindset of, you know what, I'm going to grow through this. I'm going to find a way to continue with my business or all the different things. So it's what we put on it. But if we can first neutralize it and then step into knowing I have the choice of navigating it at a higher level, it's very powerful. So we're training the brain to be able to do that. And I call it responding instead of reacting. We want to understand that we have a choice, that we don't have to be triggered, that when we can put a pause and go to a higher level and think about, what's the best way to respond? That's going to help you navigate at a higher level that's better serving you. The other piece in all of it with challenges is, you know what? Okay. Just like with anything, I'm growing through this. There's something that I'm building muscle. This is taking me to a new level. And I'm going to talk a little bit more in just a moment about that. You're building muscle and grit. And we don't do that unless we are lifting heavier weights. So the aging process can, it's going to bring on the challenges. So I'm going to just share these 3 Ps that really support building that resilient mindset. So I talk about the pause, perspective, possibility, pivot, and proceed. So the first one is pause. Every situation is neutral until we put an emotion on it. We respond instead of react, as I mentioned. And if we can understand that every circumstance that we're coming across is the curriculum of our evolution. This is building me, kind of. There's a quick story. George Carlin was on Johnny Carson. He was substituting for him, and Vincent Price came in, and he was sharing. Vincent Price was going to be in a new program that was coming out that was basically going back in time. And he was going to be the conductor on this train, going back in time and offering people the opportunity to change something in their life, like repattern what their life was back then to create, a better life. And so he's telling George Carlin, and he's asking George Carlin, so what do you think? And George Carlin paused for a moment and he said, I wouldn't change a thing, because I wouldn't be the person that I am today. And I really like myself. And you can only imagine what Vincent Price thought in that moment, like, oh my goodness. So, and the producers for the new show. So all that we're going through is curriculum for us to continue on when we have the mindset. So during that time, we can have the perspective of I'm either a victim or a victor. This is something that's shaking me or shaping me. So again, we build muscle during challenging times. If you take that perspective, we're more powerful than any situation. And this is a chapter in the book of life. So how we navigate these challenging times is essential for us as we step and evolve into the greater possibility of who we are. Possibility, moving into possibility. What's the gift here? So as we navigate in our regular days, what is the gift here? What are the opportunities here? And then during those challenging times, the way that helps us support and move forward, and we're going to get to the vision piece in a moment, gain clarity on the vision of who you want to be on the other side of this challenge. that when we know where we're directing our focus and we're taking it to a higher level, we can move through times more easily. Pivoting. So you decide to get the gift and you decide daily, and you move forward, and proceed is the last one. Get into action. Control what you can control. And there's always an action step to keep moving. So this is a great perspective to have as you're continuing through, as we grow and prepare for, later on that vibrant life. So the other key piece in all of this as well that keeps us vital and keeps us moving forward is taking on the purpose mindset. When people find passion and purpose in their lives, they persist longer and enjoy what they're doing more and feel better about their lives, being connected with our passion. And I didn't necessarily mention at the beginning, I'm embedded in some neuroscience certification. And so what they show in brain science is the ideal thing that we're seeking for that's best for our whole mind, body vitality in having a vibrant life is that we spend 80% of our time in our passion. Think for a moment for yourself. Where do you think you are in terms of living in your passion? It might be that you love what you do, and in terms of your work, and that brings you passion every day. And that's a place where we spend a lot of time. So that's a beautiful place. You may have hobbies that you have that are really bring that passion. But the key is, if it's not quite there, to be curious about how can I fuel and infuse my life with more passion. And I'm going to support you with that in a few moments about how do we deepen that and go further. On the other side of it, if you're at the 20% or even more in the areas where you're not feeling, passionate, what can happen is then you're seeking for, other things that may not be in the service of your health. It can lead to addictions, or, sometimes it can be the food thing. You're going in that direction because your brain's going, I want that higher level feeling. So when we're living in our passion, we're boosting our self-esteem. We have higher emotions. We're capitalizing on our strengths. We're in more of the flow, and your body is really responding in that. It's healthier. You feel healthier. So I'm going to share with you about when we get clear on our vision, we want to fuel it every day, and we want to bring emotion and be really be lifting ourselves up to that higher piece, because the brains are going to really respond and react to that at a higher level. The last piece is, be thinking about in navigating in a vibrant life is that you have the social mindset. Research is really important in this whole piece about when we're isolated, as I shared earlier, when we're not connected in, what happens is your brain, is the memories being impacted, depression can come in, you're feeling depressed. And so when we are around others, all of us are are moving forward together. When we have regular times together with folks, and we're really still stimulating the brain, and we're creating better feelings of love and trust, and taking things to a higher level, and the body really responds in all of that as well. So the research actually shows that when at least once a week, when you're gathering, with people, it's as if you've given yourself $100,000 raise. Your brain responds in that way. It takes you to that higher level. So when you're thinking about, moving along in the aging process, and you might be working with clients that are thinking about, where they want to live, those are the things that you might want to be thinking about in terms of the facilities that you might want to, retire in. Are you going to be around a community where you're getting that stimulation and all of those things? So such an important piece in our health all the way around. So let's step into really, if we're seeking for that vibrant life, what does that mean? What does that mean for you? How do you define it? In order for us to direct our thoughts, to live at our highest level, we want to be clear on what are the ingredients, what are the things that really define my vibrant life? How do I really want to live? So one of the things that Napoleon Hill, going back to his Think and Grow Rich study, was that successful people start with the end in mind, right? They know where they're going. And this is the same in all areas of our lives. So we want to know where we're going in order for us to then fuel and take the action steps on a daily basis that support that. So we're going to take a moment in a moment to really take a look and step into an exercise to get you focused. But the question is, one of the questions that I support people in really looking at is, what do you really want? Not what can I have, but if in my ideal life, what would I really want for myself in designing my life? And you might want to write this down. Clarity is power. Clarity is power. Again, and if we don't know where we're going and determine it, we can't direct our GPS to go in that direction. So we need to know where we're going. And I'm going to give you some brain tools that will help you with that. But the question is, what would you love in these areas of our life? So I want you to take a look for yourself right now in relationships. You might take a look at where I am currently and where I would love to be. So in relationship, what would you love? In health and well-being, how does that vibrant life, come through in that arena? In your vocation, or I also say the vocari, not everyone's working. People, as you move along, you may step into more volunteer kind of work, and that might be your main purpose, and that you're spending your time. In the area of time and money freedom, what would you love? So with that, I'm going to have you just step in here. And this is a key thing too, as you're looking at a vibrant life. I know this was a trigger point for me years ago that really woke me up to the fact that, what, I do want to design and I want to take charge now. Life is short. I don't know what tomorrow may bring. And I want to be living my vibrant life now. We're not, talking about off in the future. Yes, we have a design for where we're going, but we want to live it every day. And so this can be a piece for you when you lay your head on the pillow for the last time. What do you want to have left behind? What kind of life would you have wanted to live? So this kind of tunes you in at a higher level of, what would people be saying about you in your relationships? So as we kind of lean into that, it was a powerful exercise that actually triggered me and actually eventually led me to a career shift, because I knew I had something more that was there. So we're going to do a little exercise. Some of you have been with me before. This is what I call, it's the time machine. This is that car from Back to the Future. And we're going to do a little brain trick that we're going to imagine that it's 3 years out. And everything worked out in those 4 areas of life. You might have 1 or 2 that are seeking for more right now, but everything worked out and you're living at that highest level, vibrant life that feels really good in all areas. And we're not worrying about the how right now. We're just dreaming big and thinking about that. And so I'm just going to kind of talk you through for a moment, imagining that. And I want you to just allow yourself to be open to what comes in. And then we're going to anchor it after that. So I invite you, if you feel comfortable, when we close our eyes, it decreases the energy when we're looking, and we're using 70% of our energy looking out. So when we're actually dreaming and tuning in, we want to close our eyes and just take a deep breath. So step into the time machine for right now. Go ahead and close your eyes. Take a deep breath. And I want you to think about, it's 3 years out. We waved the magic wand and everything worked out in the areas of your life. You're living that vibrant life. What are you doing in that arena? How is your health? What is vibrant health for you? Might be getting up in the morning and feeling well rested. You have energy. Your body moves really easily and fluidly. Step into what that feels like to be in that vibrant health. What images come to mind? Maybe you're imagining yourself playing tennis or skiing, or what is it like in your vocation, in the place where you have spend your time, or your or hobbies? Everything worked out and you're living that vibrant life in that arena. What does that look like for you? Is it a current, level of where you are now and it's just flourishing at a higher level? Or is there something more that you're thinking about that you would love to be doing that really brings that passion and purpose? Where are you in the relationship arena? It's vibrant. What does a vibrant relationship quadrant look like? With friends, with a significant other, with your kids. Vibrant relationship. Everything worked out. It feels so good to be with these people. And what are you doing? What are things you're doing? And then finally, in the time and money freedom, where are you spending your time? Are there trips that you're seeking for? What comes top of mind? Where would you love to maybe be giving back? Where would you spend your time and money freedom? It all worked out. And now we're going to shift to, I'm going to give you a minute or two. I always say, as we have these images and we have thoughts that are coming through, that we go ahead and anchor them hopefully you have something you're writing on. Go ahead and anchor those images that came to mind, the feeling tone of what you were feeling as you stepped into that vibrant life, and anchor them. I'm going to give you 1 or 2 minutes here to just put them down on paper so you can be sure to follow up on them. So just go ahead and take a deep breath. It's a vibrant life. What comes to mind, and anchor that for yourself. Being sure to set the how aside. You're not worrying about the how. You're just in that I love my life mode. I talk about snapshot visions. If you have some interactions or some pictures that really vibrate, go ahead and anchor those, and the emotional words. Thirty more seconds. All right, pens down, and I'm going to say to be continued. We're just beginning to wet your whistle with it, but to be able to have that opportunity to step in to the imagination, to fuel that and to begin to define. It's only when we're clear on where we're going can we then direct our attention, right, to what we would love and move forward. So I'm going to share this with you as you're writing and continuing on. I'm going to invite you to continue this process. When you're writing down that vision, there's some key elements that really engage the brain in the process, and it makes it stronger. So I use that 3 years out, and that's for your brain to relax, so it doesn't have to worry about the how. That's a little brain trick. If we said a year from now, you might shut down. You know, I don't know how I'm going to earn my money to go on that trip. So we want to have the brain relaxed when we're writing this. You want to generate gratitude. We're going to step into the gratitude in a moment. I'm so happy and grateful now that, and you're writing it down. Remember that study when those guys stepped into living as if it was already happening, their body was like, oh, yeah, I'm that younger self now. So when we write in the present tense and then you engage in it in that way, things start lining up and you can actually feel it. You're coming from that feeling. You want to be really specific. The brain doesn't really respond unless you get really specific about what it is and has detail. It also thinks in pictures. If I say the Washington Monument, you're not thinking about the word, you're thinking about the monument. So we want to create those words. I mean, paint the pictures with our words. And then the key piece, as I was sharing before about passion, your brain isn't really going to respond and say, Leora, I get what you want because I can feel your passion. If you're at the muted kind of like, oh, I kind of want this, the brain's not going to engage and that GPS isn't going to be engaged and support you. So you want to be really fueled with this would feel really awesome to have this, to be in that amazing relationship that's flourishing and having all that. So we create this, and then you got to decide, I'm gonna step forward and take action towards it. You got to decide. And so many people, if I think about New Year's resolutions, we come up with our goal and our dream at the beginning of the year, and so many people fall off so early, and it's not their fault. Part of what happens is, first of all, they weren't really clear on what their vision was. They kind of wanted something, and then they didn't decide and really step over the line that I'm going to take action steps daily. So oftentimes this can happen to us. We go up to the person that's making the decision, the decider of our lives, and we go, yeah, this is what I want. And then right when we get up there, the timing isn't right, or, I can't do that now. Well, we want to sign that check. We want to step over that line that, you know what, I'm here to live my best life now, that this is what I want. These are the things that I'm seeking for, and I'm going to take action steps. We'll talk about action in a moment. I'm deciding I'm going to do it, and then we're going to fuel it and move forward in that process. Otherwise, it's just a dream, and we're here again to take action and really step into it. So this is very amazing. I love, like, you'll hear me talk about Ralph Waldo Emerson a lot. Once we make a decision, the universe conspires to make it happen. GPS is engaged. Then we're more aware of the things that are crossing our path that support where we're going. We all probably have examples of this, something happened out of the blue. Well, it did not happen out of the blue because something in your mindset was putting that energy out there. And then you were aware when it came your way. So as we move forward and kind of bring it in for landing before too long, one of the ways, right, to keep the mindset tools to help you in this whole process is to really fuel and be aware of your attitude on a daily basis. And start to be at that higher level of fueling the passion of what you want at a higher level. Is we know so much about gratitude. And I know this word is thrown out around a lot. And I had a client who's like, I don't really connect with gratitude. And I think, again, because she didn't really take it in as what we're looking at is we're grateful, but what we're really talking about is how does it make you feel? What are the things that really feeling gratitude, that it's not just throwing around a word, but it's really taking it in and having that attitude every day of being grateful. And I'm not being curt or, short about this. The fact that I woke up today, I'm so grateful. That feeling of, this is the one and only day that I have. And I'm going to make this my best day. So we're being grateful for what we have. Wallace Wattles said, the grateful mind is constantly fixed on the best. Therefore, it becomes the best, and it takes the form and character of the best, and it will receive the best. Without gratitude, you cannot keep from dissatisfied thought, regardless of things as they are. We start our day. I'm going to give you a daily routine in a moment, but just like we take other vitamins, we want to be in the attitude of gratitude, being at that higher level of being grateful for all that we have in this day, to start the day that way. And we know from research that why this matters is generating happy thoughts creates a happier biochemistry and creates that happier body. There's research showing how you can really up the level of your health by stepping into that, being at that higher vibrant level. So negative thoughts, this was such a key thing. I kind of the why behind all that I do is I had, a mom that passed away from Alzheimer's and all her siblings, and then it goes further back. And I was just really curious, the neuroscience piece of how do we work with fueling our bodies and our brains so that, we can be in the proactive prevention kind of arena. And when I heard about the fact that all our negative thoughts, boom, is hitting our hippocampus and knocking it, that's our short-term memory. That's impacting when we're caught up in the negative, it's really impacting on a regular basis. And then that impacts our body, degrades the body and the functioning of the brain. So we know that our emotions actually are continuously reassembling and reorganizing our bodies. So it behooves us, in our vibrant vision, it's serving us, right? It comes back to that mind body again. We want to be really, focusing in on that. The second vitamin, we talked about awareness. We want to be noticing. I just talked about negative thoughts. We want to notice and be on high alert. This phrase, noticing what you're noticing. Am I in a contractive mode, in a negative, right? Am I being pulled down by negative things, or am I in the expansive? And the more we can be aware of where am I, throughout our day, we can pause and go, wait a minute, ooh, I'm going down the bunny hole in terms of negative things that are going on. I have a choice in this moment. Push the pause. You're going to hear me talk about the pause a bunch. Push the pause button. And I get to choose to, you know what? I want to put my energy more in the direction of where I want to go in my vibrant life. I'm going to step up to, and a quick thing that you can do in a moment to step into the expansion is being grateful for whatever's happening. Even if it's something that's not so pleasant, there's something to be grateful for. This is higher level thinking. There's something that this circumstance is bringing to me, right? That resilient mindset. What can that be? And you know what? I'm going to step into that more expansive thought to put my energy here to support me in solving what's going on. So noticing what you're noticing. Love these two quotes, and I live by this a lot. We have the ability, as Emerson said, to stand guard at the portal of our minds. We get the choice of what we're letting in when we're aware of that. And if something does get in, we have the ability to, you know what? Right now, I'm setting you aside because you're not serving me in this moment. Eleanor Roosevelt, relentlessly teased back in the day. She, with her, she was not very attractive. She was a smart woman. And she came up with this phrase: we only drown if we let the water in. Isn't that awesome? We only drown if we let the water in. So this is just a quick thing when I'm talking about being aware of our thoughts. This came from my mentor. Every time, as you step into, I'm inviting you to kind of just be aware of where is my thinking during the day as you kind of go through the week. Every time you touch a doorknob, have that be a moment of, am I in a contractive thinking, or am I more in expansive, right? The more we're in expansive, we're living at a higher level of energy and focusing in. So the last one, as I mentioned, the last vitamin that I say that fuels this mindset of that vibrant life is, what can I do with what I have from where I am? It's a simple question, but we want to be in action. If you focus in on one area of that vibrant life that you want to be, developing, what is an action step I can take today? Because what that's doing is it's helping to rewire the brain that this is, that this is where I'm going. It's directing your attention to where you want to go. And each step fuels the next step. We may have people in here that, that we pray, but we're not here to just pray and just sit back. We can only have a partner with us supporting that when we take action. So with that, I'm going to begin bringing it in a moment here. So the piece that we want to know is, all right, we've thought about the different ingredients and perspectives in creating that mindset, that we're in the growth mode, passion and purpose, transition, resilience, the social, and we're beginning to get an idea of what that vibrant life looks like and how we can work with that each day. And when we have an obstacle or something that comes along, I want you to imprint this in your mind. Here's the actual picture. We have an amazing pause button. Pause when we're getting, obstacles or fears or things that come up. Push the pause button. Life happens. Push the pause and then take a breath. The breathing recalibrates your nervous system. During COVID, we're in the fight flight mode. What calms the nervous system into rest and restore is that breathing that I was sharing before. It's a safety breathing where you breathe in for 4, hold for 2, and then slowly exhale. And do that a couple of times. What that's helping you do is, first of all, the fears calm down, the voices in your head will calm down, and then you have clearer thinking. And then you can acknowledge the obstacle or what's happening at that moment, and decide in that moment, you know what, for right now, I'm going to set you aside. Up until now, you were, kind of taking my energy. And now I'm going to focus on where I want to put my energy. I'm going to focus back on my vision and where I'm going. And then you're going to take that action step. This is helping the rewiring that I was talking about, that you have that ability with any circumstance or situation that comes along, that you have a way to get back on track. So remembering, this, and this is really in the brain role, just simply, we're going from survival brain. When things come up, we can react in that way and stay at that lower level. But what we're doing with this calming piece is we're directing our energy to the CEO, so we can navigate that. So we're building the resilience. So daily routine that will support fueling that vibrant mindset, because we can, like I said, we can have that mindset and we have the goals and dreams that we're looking at to age at a higher level. But unless we fuel it and work on it on a daily basis, it's just kind of out there, and we're not really leaning into it. So this is just a basic kind of thing, keeping your mindset, in the right place. So starting the morning with that gratitude practice, listing 10 things and speaking it that you're grateful for. One of my mentors calls it stepping into gratenthusiasm, that you really fuel that energy to that higher level. Writing it down trains the brain, to be more responsive. And then you're going to step into being that person leading that vibrant life, just like those gentlemen did. They were living as if they were 20 years younger. We have that ability. Our brain doesn't know the difference between what's real and what not real. So you're designing what that feels like. So step in. This one's really powerful. We write our to-do list, but you want to step into, who am I going to be today? Who would I like to be today? I'm going to be a person of ease and flow, or I'm going to be, actually, I'll show you in this next slide. These are some ideas about the to be. Who are you going to be today? You get to decide how you're going to navigate your day. I'm the person in my vision. I'm the person of gratitude. I'm going to be a person of increase. With everyone that I meet today, I'm going to bring increase. I'm going to be a possibility thinker. These are just some ideas. Let me go back. So then decide what step you're going to take. You want to be in action. What is a step I can take in serving my vision and moving forward? Kind of anchoring morning, noon, and night, at midday. Taking that deep breath and noticing what I'm noticing. Where am I with my thinking? Have I been stuck in contractive mode or expansive? And I have a choice here to step into that higher, to be able to shift in a moment. What have I been grateful for so far today? And then recalibrate. What is it that I would love to get done by the end of this day? This is a key piece right before you go to bed. This is where we really can serve our brains at a higher level and prepare for the next day. Before you go to bed at night, I'll invite you to take a look at thinking back on your day. What are the things that I was grateful for? What wins did I have? What we're doing, sleep is the time when our brain is thinking the most. And it's when it's taking everything from the short term and putting it into the long term. This is extremely powerful as we're creating those new neural pathways of what we really want. So we want to be sure that we're recognizing the things that went well for the day that we're grateful for. And then identify the wins and focus in on that. And then focus in on your vision. And the last thing I don't have in here, but it's a very powerful thing that you want to take a look at because you're clearing the field. Forgiveness. You might think about, clearing the field before you go to bed. Am I holding on to anything? Is there someone I need to forgive today, or do I need to forgive myself? That kind of, again, clears the field of holding on to anything, so that you can have a good sleep. So with that, the last piece that kind of, I wanted to bring this in as an overall health as we begin to wind it down. To support our overall health, just some tips that I wanted to share that support the vibrant life. So we've talked about, moving from that survival brain to the CEO, to the higher. We don't want to be in panic mode because that's disintegrating the body. That's not serving the body. Our brain needs a lot of water, 4 to 6 liters. That may sound like a lot, but we need that throughout our day to think at a higher level and to have a healthier brain. That's part of the aging process as well. We want to be doing intensive exercise at least 3 times a week. We're building, I didn't put it in here, but more intensive when you're actually sweating and getting to that level is building this brain-derived neurotrophic factor. It's building this part of the brain that's really like a brain fertilizer. So exercise is important. Taking naps. Our brain uses a lot of energy. And so taking not more than 20 minutes, but having 20-minute naps is a good thing. It fuels you, for the day. Sleep is probably the most powerful, successful, vibrant tool that you can have. It's where so many processes are happening. It's cleaning things out from the day. It's clearing the mindset, all of that. And they're seeing so much more happening in terms of our health. Be social, be out there. Work during times of the day when you're most productive. This kind of goes into your daily life here. Take breaks. We need to get up and move around every 30 to 60 minutes, and that's helping your brain function at a higher level. And engage the breathing process in all of this. This is all in support of leading that vibrant life. So with that, kind of bringing it in for a landing, we began kind of taking a look at, creating, what is your vibrant aging mindset? What is the vision for where you would love to be and be living your life? And I'm going to say, we're writing it as if, it's further out, but we're actually taking it in and practicing what it feels like on a daily basis to be in that. One day lived beautifully designed leads to 1 week, leads to 1 month, leads to that vibrant life. And you've got to decide and get into action and be aware of and be the director of your ship. You understand more about your thinking, creates those feelings, actions, and results. Tools that will support you. We went through that, and then the tools for the pause button, right? And then a daily routine. I know I gave you a lot of information, and just know that and trust, I guess this is recording, go back. Just remembering, you are today where your thoughts have brought you, but be empowered that you will be tomorrow where your thoughts take you. And you get to make that choice every day, that I'm living my best day every day. And that as I do that, I can bring that into the work that I do and serving the clients that I want to serve at the highest level. So with that, I'll pop back in, and I'm open to answer